I am going to grab you by the shoulders and shake you right now because you are sleepwalking into a financial buzzsaw. And if I don't wake you up, nobody will. We are hurtling toward a date that is going to be etched in the history books of financial ruin, 2026. I am telling you this not to scare you for the sake of it, but because I am terrified for you when I look at the data. I look at the cold, hard, ugly data every single morning. And what I see is a generation of people who are completely unprepared for the economic tsunami that is about to make landfall. You have been lulled into a false sense of security by a decade of free money, by government handouts, and by a stock market that seemed to only go up. That party is over. The lights are coming on, the music is stopping, and the bill is coming due. And let me tell you, the bill is nasty. If you are sitting there with a portfolio full of speculative tech stocks and a car payment that eats up 20% of your income, you are the designated victim of 2026. But it doesn't have to be that way. I am going to give you the blueprint, the exact roadmap, and the single unbreakable rule that I use to build and protect my wealth. Never touch the principal, only spend the income. This is the only rule that matters when the world goes crazy. If you follow it, you will not only survive 2026, you will come out of it richer than you ever imagined possible. But if you ignore it, if you click away because I'm being too mean, then you deserve what is coming to you. This single rule is the difference between the 1% and the 99%. Debt is slavery. Dependence on a paycheck is slavery. Fear of the mailbox because you don't want to see the bills is slavery. I want to emancipate you. I want to turn you into a financial predator instead of financial prey. The rule is deceptively simple, but living by it requires a level of discipline that most people simply do not possess. Are you one of the few? Are you ready to stop acting like a child with a credit card and start acting like a CEO of your own life? The rule is this: I never ever touch the principal. I only spend the income. If it doesn't pay me a check to own it, it is dead to me. Every time you spend $1 of your principal, the money you worked for, the seed corn of your future, you are committing financial suicide. You are killing the soldiers that are supposed to fight for your freedom. When I look at $1, I don't see a piece of paper. I see a worker. I see a little soldier that I can send out into the world to capture more dollars and bring them back to me. If I take that soldier and I trade him for a latte or a pair of sneakers or a subscription to a streaming service I don't watch, I have killed him. He can never work for me again. He can never reproduce. He is gone. That latte didn't cost you $5. It cost you $50,000 in lost compound interest over your lifetime. That is how the rich think. We mourn every dollar that leaves our pocket because we know its potential. Poor people throw dollars around like they are trash, and then they wonder why they have none left. Now, why is this rule so critical specifically for 2026? Why am I circling that year in red ink? Because 2026 is the convergence point of massive, destructive macroeconomic forces that are going to shred the middle class. First, we have the corporate debt wall. During the pandemic, corporate America binged on cheap debt because interest rates were zero and money was free. That debt has a maturity date, and a huge chunk of it comes due in 2026, but they can't pay it back. They have to refinance at 5, 6, or 7%. When interest expense triples overnight, a business goes from hiring to firing and growth to survival mode. We are going to see a wave of bankruptcies and layoffs that will make 2008 look like a picnic. The only thing that saves you is cash flow, the dividend check that clears whether the stock price is up or down. The second force hitting in 2026 is the structural permanence of inflation. The government and the Fed lied to you when they said inflation was transitory. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon caused by printing trillions out of thin air. The price of everything has reset higher, and it is not going back down. In an inflationary world, cash is trash. If you have $100,000 in a savings account earning 4% while real inflation is 8%, you are bleeding purchasing power. You need assets with pricing power that can pass inflation on to the customer. When prices go up, my dividend goes up, I get a raise while you get a bill. The third force is the full maturation of artificial intelligence in the workforce. By 2026, the mediocre middle of the white-collar workforce is going to be gutted because if your job can be done by a piece of code, It will be. You need to build a secondary stream of income that doesn't depend on your boss or your ability to trade hours for dollars. You need your money working harder than you do because money doesn't get tired or sick. Apply the golden rule. If it doesn't pay me, I don't touch it, to every aspect of your life. Look at your brokerage account right now. If you see companies that are promising future growth but losing money today, sell them. You need to rotate your capital into distribution assets like energy infrastructure. I love pipelines because they are the toll roads of the global economy. They pay out 6, 7, or 8% yields in cash you can live on. I'm talking about real estate investment trusts, REITs, for warehouses and data centers that house the AI revolution. I'm talking about dividend aristocrats like Johnson & Johnson or PepsiCo that have raised dividends for 25 consecutive years through every crisis. When you own these, you are partnering with the most durable businesses on earth. Now take the rule out of the stock market and apply it to your life, because this is where you are bleeding out. Most people are poor because they buy liabilities thinking they are assets, and the biggest culprit is cars. I despise car culture because it keeps people broke. A guy making $50,000 a year driving a $40,000 truck at 7% interest is a financial zombie working 3 months of the year just to pay for the metal box. Apply the rule. I never touch the principal. I only spend the income. If you want a luxury car, let a high-yield distribution stock pay for it while you keep the lump sum of capital. You have to earn the right to luxury by building the machine that pays for your lifestyle. Until then, you drive a used Honda. The same applies to your house. Your home is a liability that eats money via taxes, insurance, and repairs. It only becomes an asset if you sell it. Stop trying to impress neighbors you don't even like. Keep your housing costs low so you can free up capital to buy real assets that actually pay you. Every dollar you sink into granite countertops is a dead dollar that isn't working for you in the market. And don't forget the death by 1,000 cuts, the subscriptions and the $7 coffees. It is about the lack of discipline and the opportunity cost. I want you to feel physical pain when you swipe that card for something consumable. Ask yourself if it makes you money. If the answer is no, put the card away. Apply the rule to your career as well. Invest your time and skills with high leverage like sales or strategic planning that AI struggles with. Acquire pricing power. Move from being a cost center to a profit center, because in a recession, the cost centers get cut first. Stop acting like a victim and stop whining about the economy. Sacrifice is the price of entry for wealth. For those approaching retirement, this is a code red. You cannot afford to be a cowboy with your money anymore. You need to pivot to income immediately to secure your floor for housing, food, and health care. Don't be the person going back to work at 75 because you got greedy at the bottom. Respect the rule, protect the principle, live on the income. 2026 is going to be the great filter that separates the lucky from the smart. I plan to be fully clothed in armor made of cash-flowing assets, and I want you standing next to me. But to get there, you have to change your relationship with money and stop seeing it as something to spend. Become a ruthless allocator of capital. Tape the rule. If it doesn't pay me, I don't touch it to your credit card. I am dumping everything that doesn't fit this rule. The dream stocks and non-performing real estate. I am consolidating into a fortress of energy, infrastructure, healthcare, and gold. Gold is my ultimate insurance policy for the principal. The flood is coming in 2026, so build your ark now. This channel is your shipyard where I give you the hard truths you need to hear. If you are ready to be a capitalist, smash the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment saying, I will not touch the principal to commit publicly. Money doesn't care about your feelings, but if you respect it, it will give you freedom. Audit your life, purge the liabilities, and let's win. I'll see you in the next video. Let me be even clearer about the car situation, because this is where the middle class goes to die. If you are signing a lease or a finance agreement for a vehicle in 2025 or 2026, you are essentially signing a warrant for your own financial arrest. The interest rates on auto loans are at 20-year highs, and the prices of vehicles are inflated by a supply chain ghost that doesn't exist anymore. You are paying a premium for an asset that starts rotting the second you turn the key. In 2026, the secondary market for used cars is going to be flooded with repossessions as the corporate debt crisis trickles down to the individual. If you wait, you can buy that same car for cash at 50 cents on the dollar, but you won't wait, will you? You want the smell of the new leather today. That smell is the scent of your future evaporating. And the house, oh, the house. People are desperate to get into the market because they fear being left behind. Left behind by what? A bubble? You are bidding against people who are using 100% of their emotional capacity and 0% of their financial capacity. When those ARM mortgages reset, or when the property taxes in states like Florida and Texas catch up to the new valuations, there is going to be a mass exodus. You do not want to be the one holding the bag when the music stops in 2026. Renting is not failing. Renting is staying liquid. Renting is keeping your dry powder ready for when the real opportunities appear. I have millions in real estate, but I only buy when the math makes sense. Right now, for most of you, the math is a nightmare. Do not buy a house in 2026. Do not buy a car in 2026. Buy cash flow. Buy the stocks that pay you while you sleep. Buy the ETFs that represent the backbone of the global economy. Secure your principal and live like a king on the interest. That is the billionaire way. That is the only way. Stay disciplined, stay liquid, and I will see you on the other side of the 2026 reset. I've spent my entire career watching people make the same mistakes, and I've spent my entire career profiting from those mistakes. I am telling you now how to be on my side of the trade. If you don't take this advice, don't come crying to me when your car is towed and your house is underwater. The data is clear. The date is set. 2026. Get ready. Listen, I don't care about your feelings. I care about your money. And right now, if you're thinking about buying a house in certain states, you're about to make one of the biggest financial mistakes of your life. I've made millions in real estate and I've lost millions in real estate. The difference comes down to data. Cold, hard, ugly data. And the data is screaming. It is telling me that there are places where you should not, under any circumstances, park your hard-earned capital. Not in the next year. Not if someone puts a gun to your head. A house is not an investment. I know your parents told you it was. Your real estate agent is telling you it is. But I'm telling you the truth. A house is a place you live. It's a consumption item. It's something that costs you money every month in taxes, insurance, and maintenance. If you want to invest, buy a REIT. If you want a roof over your head, rent it or buy it cash. But don't tell me your primary residence is your retirement plan. That is a lie that keeps people broke. We are sitting on the edge of one of the biggest real estate bubbles this country has ever seen. And when it pops, and believe me, it will pop, a lot of people are going to lose everything. People are paying prices that make absolutely no sense. I'm talking about regular folks making $60,000 a year, and they are buying homes for $700,000. They are stretching every dollar. They are taking on mortgage payments that eat up half of their income. They are betting everything on the idea that the price will go up forever. It won't. It never does. The math doesn't work. When interest rates stay higher for longer, the pool of buyers shrinks. When the pool of buyers shrinks, prices fall. It's basic supply and demand. If you are buying now, you are buying at the absolute peak of the cycle. You are the sucker at the table. If you don't know who the sucker is, it's you. I'm telling you right now, the real estate bubble is going to pop. The only question is whether you are going to be ready for it or whether you are going to get crushed by it. The choice is yours. Cash is trash until it's time to buy. And 2026 will be the time to buy. Until then, stay liquid, stay focused, stay sharp. The world is changing, and only the strong will survive. Be strong. Be a shark. Stop acting rich and start actually being rich. Acting rich is buying the car and the house you can't afford to impress people you don't like. Being rich is having $1 million in the bank and driving a 10-year-old car because you don't care what anyone thinks. You care about the interest that $1 million is earning. That is the secret. That is how I live. That is how the people I know who actually have money live. We don't flaunt it until we've secured it. And even then, we're careful because we know how hard it was to get and how easy it is to lose. The 2026 reset is your opportunity to jump levels. It is your chance to move from the middle class to the upper class. But you can't do it if you're weighed down by debt. You have to be light. You have to be mobile. You have to be ready to strike. The greatest transfer of wealth in history is coming. Trillions of dollars will change hands. It will move from the hands of the consumers to the hands of the capitalists. Which one are you? Don't wait for the news to tell you the recession is here. By then, it's too late. The money has already been made. You have to act before the crowd. You have to be the one selling when everyone is buying and buying when everyone is selling. That requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires a refusal to be average. Average is a death sentence in the new economy. I want you to be a winner. I want you to be a shark. I want you to look back on 2026 and say, that was the year your life changed forever. Not because you got lucky, but because you were prepared, because you listened to Mr. Wonderful, because you stopped acting rich and started getting rich. This is my final warning. The clock is ticking. The data is in. The cycle is turning. 2026 is the year of the reckoning. Build your fortress. Protect your principal. Live on the income. And I'll see you at the finish line. Don't let me down. Get to work. I'm serious. Go audit your bank statements right now. Find every single dollar that is leaking out of your life on things that don't pay you back. Cancel the subscriptions. Sell the unused gym equipment. Stop the luxury dining. Take that money and put it into an income-producing asset. Start with 1 share, then 10, then 100. Build the momentum. Once you see that first dividend check hit your account, even if it's only for $10, everything changes. You realize that money can work for you. You realize you don't have to be a slave to a clock. That is the moment of enlightenment. That is when you truly start your journey to wealth. I'm here to help you get there. Subscribe, join the community, and let's win together. 2026 is almost here. Are you ready? Let's go. One more time for the people in the back. If it doesn't pay you, it is dead to you. That is the mantra. Say it every morning. Say it every time you reach for your wallet. If it doesn't pay you, it is dead to you. Live by it, and you will never be broke again. That is my promise to you. Now, for the last time, get to work. Your future self is counting on you. 2026. The Great Reset. Be the one who profits. Be the shark. I'll see you in the next video. Stay disciplined. Stay wonderful. Goodbye for now.